correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you feel like there are no villains in this movie.
No, I think that the sort of person who's portrayed to be the villain is definitely not a villain. And if anyone is the villain, it's the Catholic Church.
Oh, Jesus. Whoa.
Okay, maybe I should.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Welcome to our farewell episode of Bad Movies and Beer.
Okay, I apologize. Maybe it was just Mother Teresa, the nun portrayed.
Mother Superior?
Mother Superior, yeah.
Mother Teresa, the noted,
God.
charitable, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we're starting really bad here. Mother Superior in our movie was not so good.
I'm Cooper, and I am not the guy who was saying everything for the last 5 minutes.
So I'm Nolan. Cooper said all that stuff about Mother Teresa.
Oh my God, no. Don't put that on me. Welcome to Bad Movies and Beer. This is our holiday episode. We watched and we are going to talk about a holiday movie. It's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Calling that a holiday movie is perhaps not the best. It's not really.
It was a treasure. It was a holiday treasure, I'd say.
It's about Christmas.
This is the first time I've ever watched it.
In a roundabout. Yeah, you've never seen it before.
No, I've never seen it
This
before.
is good stuff. So we're going to watch that. We're going to talk about that. And we are also drinking a holiday-themed beer.
What beer is it?
This is Bah Humbug. It is by the Wychwood Brewery in Oxfordshire, England. We're going international today.
Nice. I'm excited. It looks like it has a lot of spices in it.
Yeah, it's for sure some cinnamon, hopefully some nutmeg in there. It's a holiday-themed beer. We're going to give it a try, and we're going to celebrate this movie. God damn.
Wonderful. Oh, man.
We should probably get into it. Let's open these up.
Yeah, let's open them up.
Bottles today.
Beautiful.
I like it. So, you've never seen this before?
No, never seen this movie.
That's incredible. For some reason, I don't know if it's like a regional thing, but this movie was very popular amongst at least people that I knew in like my high school when we were children.
Was it because of all the boobs?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how I think it was just like it was very controversial subject matter. Actually, the film itself, incredibly controversial. Apparently, when it came out, like it was hugely protest. They had to pull it after like 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, man. In fact, noted critic Gene Siskel on the Siskel and Ebert show.
Yeah,
like he listed all of the producers' names, maybe the director of the show, and was just like, "Shame on you."
What?
For real, man.
That seems like a crazy dick move to shame all these guys. It was really like...
Well, they've got the guy in a Santa Claus suit is murdering people. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but it's not a children's movie. Like, no one who is going to be a child is going to see it.
Do not watch this movie with your children.
But why? Yeah, I don't understand why it'd be so...
If the movie's taught us anything, it's that children witnessing horrible events can scar them severely in the future.
Yeah, it does kind of ask questions about whether seeing something or like witnessing a traumatic event can affect you for sure.
So we talked about this off mic. Was PTSD a thing in the 80s? Because this movie really like predicts PTSD.
Yeah, I don't know, we were wrestling with that a little bit, and I'm not sure. We need to do a little bit of research. I think people probably knew about it, but only in a military case, right? They
called it shell shock.
Yeah, and it's definitely clear that the characters in this movie are impacted by seeing some horrific events.
Yeah, so you can get PTSD from normal everyday events, like watching your family get murdered by a guy in a Santa Claus suit. You know, normal stuff. Normal stuff like that.
I know, it's hard to laugh at that, but it is true. It's so ridiculous to see
it's hard to laugh at that.
Yeah. To see a Christmas
movie.
Santa, murder.
Okay, so yes, we're giving all kinds of spoilers out here, but that's,
Yeah, it's a spoiler-full podcast if you haven't figured that out already.
Yeah, we're like 12 episodes in at this point. If you haven't ever listened before, shame on you. I'm gonna pull the Gene Siskel.
Oh,
shame on you.
All right, if you haven't witnessed or if you haven't listened, go listen to some other ones. But yeah, if you really want to watch the movie before you hear the podcast, then
do it.
Please go listen to it. If not, feel free to listen and watch along later, or listen and watch at the same time.
We watched on the very high quality Shout Factory Blu-ray release. Actually, they call it Scream Factory for their horror movies. Great release. We watched the theatrical version. They also have an unrated version.
I didn't know that. There's an unrated as well?
There is. I think it's only like 3 or 4 minutes longer. It just has like more gore, I think. I don't think it has more boobs. I don't know how it could. There's a lot of boobs in this movie.
It's not possible. I have never seen so many women's tops ripped off in one fell swoop as in this movie. They were breasts pulled out of nowhere.
There's a lot of boobs in this movie. Maybe that is why it was so popular when I was in high
it's
school.
definitely why. I figured out your high school issue.
Let's go. let's talk about it, man. The movie starts with, actually, I love the start of this. It's like a Christmas wreath slowly like getting larger on the screen while a child sings some Christmas carol. And then all of a sudden it says Silent Night above the wreath. There's a sudden blood splash. It just says Deadly Night, which like, God, they're just setting the tone right away.
They did a good job. Yeah. It was
I love it.
Very like church choral children singing, right? It brought you back to that moment of like very innocent, and then very quickly it hit you. Ooh, I see you making a reaction over here. You had your first taste of Bah Humbug.
That's spicy. That's a spicy beer.
Nice.
Yeah, so after that we begin Christmas Eve, 1971, little family car ride. We noticed immediately that no one is wearing seatbelts in the car.
The baby is on the mother's lap in the front seat, and nobody is connected to anything.
Yeah, mom
safe.
doesn't have a seatbelt. Dad, no seatbelt. Kid in the back, no seatbelt. The kid's asking a lot of questions about Santa Claus, and the mom says, Santa Claus is going to bring you a big surprise tonight.
Yeah, she was really just trying to get that kid to go to bed on time, is how I felt. Like, as a parent, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You try anything to get your kid to go to bed on time and not push that.
Still ironic the way it all turns out.
Oh, God, yes.
They pass they pull up to the Utah mental facility. We zoom in on the signs. There's no mistaking where we are.
There was 7 minutes, like, zooming in on that Utah mental facility side. I was like, they really want us to know that we're here.
Yeah, they're visiting the grandpa, I guess the dad's dad. He's in the vegetative state, and the parents go to discuss his treatment with the doctor. They leave little Billy, he's the sort of older of the two children, leave him alone with grandpa, which right away you're like, are they going to leave this guy with the fucking grandpa?
Yeah, I was freaking out immediately. I was like, you do not leave a little child with a messed up, deranged grandparent.
I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to sit there.
Of course
I
he is.
object to leaving him there on, like, the kid's going to be bored purposes. Stare at your grandpa, Billy.
Yeah.
We're going to go talk to this doctor.
This
for
is a
who
horror
knows how long.
movie. We knew what was coming.
Well, and what happens right away is as soon as the parents leave, grandpa, you see the eyes shift over to Billy. He's kind of wakes up. And then Billy calls for his mom. And the grandpa, the first thing he says is like, she can't help you. No one can.
What do you want her for? She can't help you. Nobody can. You scared, ain't you? You should be.
Jesus.
Yeah, he gets real dark. He
Oh
shushes
my God.
him.
He dials it up to a fucking 11 right away. And then just like tells Billy that Christmas Eve is the scariest night of the year. And the thing about Santa is if you're naughty, he punishes you. And my God, we go back to that well just a dozen times during this movie.
Holy shit. That set the tone for sure for where we're going. There was a lot of foreshadowing built into this right here.
Tons. And then he asked Billy, what about you, boy? You been good all year long? And Billy's like, no.
No.
And the grandpa tells him, you're fucked, Billy. He doesn't say that, but
No, he says, you better run for your life.
you see Santa, you better fucking run.
Yeah.
Run for your life. Parents come back. Grandpa immediately goes back to being comatose. It's time to leave. On the car ride back, Billy tries to tell his parents what Grandpa said, but the parents, they're not sure what to believe. They don't know if he really talked or not. The mom dismisses it. Grandpa's a crazy old fool.
I think she went harder than that. She said some stuff pretty harsh about him.
Whatever he said, Billy just right away is like, ooh, you shouldn't have
think
said
he goes,
that.
Naughty mommy said bad things about
it's
Grandpa.
not. You can't say things about old people. That's naughty.
Yeah.
So clearly Grandpa's lesson has left a big impression on Billy here. While this is happening, we see a convenience store and a guy in a Santa suit is robbing the convenience store. He ends up shooting the guy behind the counter a few times.
He hits him 3 times too, and then one in the head for
Dead
no
in the
reason.
forehead.
Yeah.
And all that for a lousy $31. He did not get the money he was looking for, which directly comes back to affect Billy in a very short order.
Yeah.
The family's still driving along. They see a car on the road with the hood up. Looks like there's car trouble. It's a guy in a Santa suit. Now we know that he's the robber and murderer from the convenience store. Parents don't know. They just want to stop and help. Billy right away is just like, no, don't do it. Don't stop. Don't stop. But they stop to help. And that was a bad mistake.
Santa starts shooting.
Right away. Tries to rob the family. He does shoot the dad. The dad tries to peel out. Goes for the escape. Good job, but doesn't work out. Santa shoots him dead. Billy fucking bolts. He just runs. Hides in a ditch. Smart move by Billy. He's
not so lucky for mom.
Yeah, Billy's not so far away that he can't see his mom getting dragged out of the car. And then
Here's the first of the top rip-offs in one fell swoop.
the Santa guy rips her top off and then slits her throat.
It was really weird. We had a bit of a discussion. I said, why? What was the purpose of the top pull off? And you're like, it's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah. I was
it's
I
just to
kind of
show us
bought it.
proofs,
Yeah.
man.
I was like, I guess so. Yeah. Maybe he had other intentions, but decided not to because there was a crying baby and a kid in a ditch.
Yeah, he just went for the He just went for the murder. Little brother in the back seat's crying. Billy's hiding, but he can see everything.
What I didn't get was this Santa was like really desperate, right? Like he kills a guy over $31 and then like he shoots them as they peel out and didn't get anything from them, did he? Like, what did he get from this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's trying to steal their car. Maybe he really had car trouble. He needed to steal their car. Maybe he's hoping they got a lot of money in the wallet. But like, he didn't know the guy's only got $31. But
I wish I had more motivation behind original Santa murderer. But
you know what I think? I think the screenplay needed Billy to witness a traumatic event with a guy in a Santa suit. So that's what we got.
He did. It was really traumatic.
Oh my God, yes. We then do have a nice dissolve to an orphanage around Christmas 1974. Billy and his brother are now orphans, obviously. They're living in this orphanage. And all the children are making Christmas drawings. It's time for Billy to show his Christmas drawing. And he goes to put it up on the chalkboard there, and all the kids gasp, "Ah, Billy!" Oh, not good. What was the drawing?
It was Santa with knives and axes in him, and they had cut off Rudolph's head. Like, it was a graphic picture of Santa and his reindeer being slaughtered.
It's Billy trying to kill Santa, right?
I mean, Santa killed his family.
It makes all the sense in the world. And that's what we were saying before. Like, you get why this is all happening. The nuns who run the orphanage, they don't like it. Sister Margaret, she's the kindly nun. She thinks it's proof that Billy is, damaged. He's had some trauma.
He's struggling with his trauma, yeah.
Yeah, Mother Superior does not think so, though. She just thinks that he's a very naughty boy.
Fucking Mother Superior.
Billy, so she sends Billy to his room. He's in the room watching the kids play. Sister Margaret tells him, "You should go outside, Billy." But on his way out, he hears some sex noises.
He didn't know there were sex noises, but he did hear some noises.
Well, we knew there were sex noises.
Yeah, and he moves towards the keyhole, which is hilarious. I haven't seen a keyhole look through in a movie in a while.
I've been in a house one time that actually had like the keyhole.
You're lying. That doesn't exist in real life.
For real, man. It was like an older house. We were staying there for someone was getting married, and like they put the wedding party up in like this like house, like an old.
Was there sex behind the door with the keyhole?
I mean, I didn't look through a keyhole and see any sex, but there were. You could look right through them. It's a real thing. If you can look right through the keyhole, so that's a real deal.
Okay.
Oh man. Anyway, Billy looks through the keyhole and he sees two of like the older teenage orphans having sex. Mother Superior finds them and oh man, she shoves Billy out of the way, busts through there, tells them they're evil, it's a devil, and she starts punishing them with like a leather belt, just whipping the shit out of them.
Just straight belting, yeah, for sure.
The punishment, that's also the recurring thing here. Then she goes and finds Billy in the yard once he's outside. She explains to Billy that had to happen because the two of them were naughty. And when you're naughty, you have to be punished.
Punishment is absolute. Punishment is necessary. Punishment is good.
Yes, Mother Superior.
And then what does she do to him?
Well, as I was going to say, speaking of which, Billy left his room, so he's naughty. So she whips him with the fucking belt.
See, I'm talking about the villain here. We got her right here. I mean, he may have made it through what he saw with that Santa if all of this wasn't instilled in him afterwards.
I'm not going to defend whipping a child with a belt.
But where are you going with this?
That was old school discipline.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
We hadn't developed modern psychological.
It doesn't mean that didn't contribute significantly to the way that
clearly.
Billy was.
Yeah, this is like they should actually just show this movie in like psychology classes to be like this is it right here. If you can believe it, Billy has bad dreams that night. Flashbacks to the night of his parents' murder. He actually had a flashback during the sex scene as well.
Yeah,
I guess the dude in the grabbing that lady's breast reminded him of the Santa killer in his mom's breast.
There was sort of like a shirt ripoff kind of montage again. That happens a lot.
There's a lot of nipples in this movie. Billy tries to run from this nightmare, but Mother Superior finds him, and then she ties him to the bed. That can't be okay.
No, and then what really got me was afterwards she was bragging to like Sister Margaret, the other nun, about how effective her her methods were. And I was like, this is an insanely prideful act. I was like, is this not like this is where the villain of the nun comes from in my mind, right? Like she is acting completely beyond what she should be, and she's really contributing to how Billy's going to act later in the movie.
Well, she's also just like the next morning we see the kids, like the opening presents. She's just a ray of sunshine. She's just criticizing them for being greedy instead of like showing gratitude. And then, she fires off this monologue to Sister Margaret about how you're going to see Billy's going to sit on, like she's going to prove it. Billy's going to be fine. In fact, she kind of sets the goal for like herself, I guess. Billy is going to sit on Santa's lap, which just has to go in the bad idea Hall of Fame.
What a fucking horrible idea. You know this is going wrong. This kid is traumatized by Santas, and you're going to force him on the lap out of your own fucking prideful...
But like you said, she wants to prove that she knows her shit, man. So she goes to try and put him on the lap. Billy is very resistant, and he ends up like punching Santa out of his chair.
He one punches him. He punches him in the face. He one punches Santa. One of the things I've loved about all the movies is watch is how many one punches there are. I mean, Santa's head didn't come clean off, but
this kid
he
is
had
like
a bloody
7 years old. He's
one
7
punches
years
him
old.
out
He
of the
fucking
chair.
knocks a grown man out of the chair. I don't think a 7-year-old can fucking knock a grown man out of a chair, but it happens.
Bloody nose, like laying on the ground, whining about what's wrong with him.
And then he immediately reverts to like he's just like rocking back and forth. He says he didn't mean to be naughty. Please don't punish him. But the Mother Superior, she's going to punish him. And we get a freeze frame in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, I know. This is something you love, freeze frames.
I like it at the end.
How did you feel about the mid-movie freeze frame?
I thought it drove home his like anguish and fear of being punished.
So you like it at any time?
Well, I prefer it at the end. Put it this way, I'm not going to give it an extra point for having a freeze frame in the middle of the movie.
But you will if there's one at the end.
Always.
Yeah, all right.
10 years later, Sister Margaret is trying to find a job for the now tall, muscular, handsome young Billy.
1984 Billy, I like to call him.
They're in a toy store, and the guy running the toy store doesn't. A boy couldn't handle this job in the stockroom. It needs a man. Luckily, Billy is so big and strapping. He sees him, and he's like, "Oh fuck yeah, you're hired." So then we get a mid-movie montage of a good work montage.
Yeah, I love this. It was at regular speed, so they didn't move anything faster, and they had the sweet montage music. And Billy was just having a great time being a wonderful employee at a toy store. And I was like,
absolutely.
Billy's turning his life around. This is wonderful.
I like, too, how they threw this shit in. This is ridiculous. Like, at one point, one of the other employees, Andy, another toy store employee, he's kind of sneaking a little booze with his lunch. Billy turns him down. No, I've got milk. Thank you. So, like, just to show this guy's like the great, like.
Andy was a fucking douche.
He was, but the point of it, that
I know. Yeah, it was to show how Billy is on the straight and narrow.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Billy. Yeah. He's a good kid.
He was. Billy was a good guy.
He's got a little crush on the brunette girl he works with. Pamela is her name, we think.
Yeah, it's Pamela, curly haired.
Yeah, so he's kind of got eyes for her, but Andy, the other coworker, the one who was drinking the booze earlier, he's kind of like, he's got eyes for Pamela himself. He's giving Billy a hard time, kind of harassing him, asking him what his problem is. Oh, you're always staring off into space, Billy. What's your fucking problem?
Yeah, he seemed like a piece of work, that Andy.
He did.
He didn't seem like he did anything during the montage, at least.
No, he's just there to move things along.
Yeah, he was just there.
I will say this: like everything in the montage, it's all going swimmingly until they unfurl the Merry Christmas banner.
Yeah, that banner just set Billy off.
It's got a picture of Santa Claus. You see it right away.
It was so happy too. Billy was so happy, and then when Pamela and the boss just started unrolling that,
So I was thinking about this. If you're Billy, you're now like 17, we think, or 18 or something. You know how calendars work. You must know what month is coming up. You work in a fucking toy store. Come on, man. You know there's going to be Christmas decorations.
You know it's coming, but can you ever get over the fact that your father was shot and your mother brutally murdered? I don't think so. And then when it's reinforced over and over again by Mother Superior there?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, that really is. I mean, you've got the guy murdering your parents. That's trauma number one. Mother Superior is kind of archaic discipline. That's trauma number two. And then he's working in this toy store, which should, I guess, hopefully be a safe space. But at one point, he walks out into the toy store, and he's already kind of riled up from Andy harassing him, and he sees the guy in the Santa suit. And sure enough, Billy kind of collapses, and then later on, he spends a little time in the stockroom listening to the voices in his head. And then,
Well, I definitely saw this, and I didn't realize at first, but we go to a scene where he and Pamela are naked.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're prepping to have some intercourse.
Seemed like we jumped right to it. And
even though that's naughty, they show some really hairy body parts. I was like, I guess it is the 80s.
Hey, like Sister Margaret said, Billy's got a man's body.
But then all of a sudden, who comes in here and stabs Pamela?
Well, yeah, it turns out this is all a dream.
Yeah.
Santa Claus, a guy, you see a Santa Claus arm bringing down was it an axe or what was it?
A knife. It was the knife, yeah.
It was a knife. That wakes up the dream. More nightmares for Billy. He wakes up. He's shaking back and forth again. He wants to be good. Don't punish me. Don't punish me. This guy's he's dealing with some stuff.
He's broken, right? He's clearly broken from what's happened before. He's trying to struggle with those sort of sort of realities of a person growing into a man and the realities of life and trying to battle with what good and bad is in this sort of strange place.
In a system that just isn't set up for this.
No, he's not ready.
They don't have the necessary tools
to succeed. So we're getting close to Christmas now.
Oh, God damn.
And what sets this off right now?
This is incredible.
Yeah.
The next day, they're going to open the toy store. Mr. Sims, the owner of the toy store, gets word from one of his employees that there's a problem. Someone can't make it in that day. He's been in an accident or something. And it's the guy who dresses up as Santa Claus. He can't make it into the store today. So in what has to go down as the worst idea in history, they decide to put Billy in the Santa suit. It's just like they're just lining this up. This movie is just laying it all out for you. Like this is exactly what's going to go.
I mean, you would have suspected this. This is something that was kind of predictable, but it was also necessary, right? Like this was well written in the fact that the worst position you could put this Billy.
Well written.
Yeah. Well, I know that might be incredible praise, but it was put into a place where Billy had to do this. This had to be the test to see whether he could get over what was happening to him.
It's too big a test. You can't put the guy in a Santa suit. This is a fucking horrible. The dude knows he's from an orphanage. Maybe he doesn't know the backstory, but fuck, man, this is a terrible idea. But they put him in the suit, and immediately he just starts threatening kids.
He does. He sort of, there's a kid squirming all over him, and he sort of like,
"You're being naughty. Right on Santa's lap. I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them severely." That's right.
and it works, and he doesn't harm any children.
The parents love him.
Yeah.
What a good Santa Claus. My kid's actually sitting still for a minute.
Yeah, and they all do. They all kind of go through, and he does his job. Like, he does a good job as the Santa. As the kid's Santa.
Mr. Sims did warn him ahead of time. He's like trying to scare the kids. Some of them think Santa Claus is a little scary. Isn't that silly? Sister Margaret, meanwhile, she calls to kind of check in on him. Calls the toy store to see how he's doing. And Andy, again, that guy from before, tells her, she calls the stockroom, and he's like, yeah, he doesn't work in the stockroom anymore. You know where he is now. He's Santa Claus now. And Sister Margaret correctly is like, that might be a problem.
She drops an "oh fuck."
She did not.
She didn't, but that's what she wanted to say in her head, right? Like, you see it on her face. She drops that as like,
her face
is an "oh fuck" for sure.
Actual,
like,
the nun did not actually
you made
verbalize
him Santa? Really?
What's your problem with the Catholic Church? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, God damn it. So she knows this is maybe going to be a problem. They get the last of the kids out of there. It's the end of the day, on the last day, I guess, before Christmas. And to celebrate, Mr. Sims is like, there we go. We're closed. Let's get shit-faced.
Yeah, he says 7 o'clock, time to get shit-faced. It was amazing.
And they break out the booze, man. All the employees are having a little booze. Speaking of which, he's clearly giving alcohol to underage children.
Oh, yeah, he does not give a fuck. He brings out like 4 bottles of booze. One of them is clearly scotch, and then I'm not sure what the others were. There's some clear liquors there.
You know what I am sure of is that Pamela, Andy, and Billy are definitely not 21.
No, they shouldn't be drinking.
Not even a little bit, but he is just pumping them with booze. No problem there.
I asked myself, is this how they lived in the 80s? Was just how life was? Like, there didn't seem to be anything weird with it. Like, in this movie, there's a lot of musical cues when things are going wrong.
God, the music. Can we just talk about the music in the movie for a second?
Okay, yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, like they do the synth really well for getting you ready for what's going to happen. There was no musical cues telling me that underage drinking was a problem. So I feel like the 80s this is just what they did, right? Like, they'd close up the store for Christmas and then just bring out the bottles of liquor, and everyone would just get fucked up.
They are. And then Andy makes his move on Pamela. So he kind of lures her to the back of the store. Billy, meanwhile, gets triggered by Mr. Sims because Mr. Sims is, ask him what he's thinking about. He's like, his parents. Mr. Sims like, that's good. You should think about your parents on Christmas. And then Billy's like, my parents are dead. And he's just like, whoop.
Yeah. I wish he had said Santa murdered my parents, but it didn't happen. Yeah. I was hoping that was going to come out. But
so then Mr. Sims' way to extricate himself from this awkward situation is to be like, well, Santa, you got a long night ahead of yourself. And Billy's like, what are you talking about? He's like, Santa Claus, it's Christmas Eve. You know what you do on Christmas Eve? And this is what really snaps him. This is where it's like, I do. I do know what Santa does.
I gotta go fucking punish all those assholes.
Punishes people, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the first people he punishes, he goes back in the room and he finds Andy, and Andy's getting a little bit rough with Pamela.
Yeah, they're back there together, and at first Pamela wants to be there, and then she starts resisting, and with one no should have been enough, but lots of no's, and he rips her shirt off.
Shirt rip again.
Immediately.
This is a movie of shirt rips.
And there is no bras in any of the women in this.
No one's wearing a bra.
Not a single one. So all it takes is one single swoop of a hand, and there's breasts everywhere.
You're just going from shirt to tits. There's no bra.
And I mean, I guess that's the point of the like. This is why you and your friends watch this movie at a tender age.
Don't put this on me. Don't put this movie on. Listen,
but that's what it was all about for you, I assume.
Oh, listen,
I assume it was not for the Santa mystery, or
actually, no. It was more for when you're a kid watching a horror movie. It's like I'm going to watch someone die. I'm going to watch like blood. There's going to be like this is a mature content. You don't the boobs are the boobs.
I would
are,
rather you have watched it for the boobs than the death.
I didn't know there were going to be boobs. I knew it's Silent Night, Deadly Night. You know someone's going to die.
Yeah.
It's not called Silent Night, Ordinary Night.
I guess so.
No,
but
the boobs are the whipped cream on the sundae.
That's fair. So Perv Andy is clearly doing stuff to Pam that he shouldn't be doing in the back.
Billy sees it. He does not like it. So he has his flashbacks. He snaps. And then he hangs Andy one-handed from some Christmas lights.
Yeah, this was insane. So he picks up Andy. Andy was not a big guy compared to him. And we know that Billy's kind of like a strapping young lad. But he picks him up with one hand, chokes him out with the Christmas lights, and then for some reason, blood starts spurting out of nowhere. You're like, what the hell?
Why is there so much blood? It's just pouring out of Andy.
This was an unnecessary side or like technical part of the movie. Like if they made it today, there certainly wouldn't be blood on a choke.
I think it looks better with the blood, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Now, we should also mention that before or as he's strangling him, he says, naughty.
Oh, God, yes. So we're clear that we know that Andy has been naughty. It appears that he's not okay with sex, or certainly wasn't okay with it. Billy wasn't okay with sex, and he wasn't okay with, like, Andy pushing sex on Pamela, which is kind of fair, right? Like, I wasn't upset. Like, I mean, no one should be murdering someone else, but I wasn't upset at Billy for what he did right here.
You're saying the murder was entirely justified.
Andy wasn't.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like, I mean, Andy was a douche, so it was kind of like.
But then
this is the weird part about the movie, right? This is where Billy starts murdering.
Yeah,
and I'm not really mad at Billy. Billy is just doing what he's learned. Like,
it's because you understand it. They make it very clear. Billy was not born a monster; he was made a monster.
Yeah, he was made a monster, and so I'm not angry at him, and I'm like. Andy kind of deserved it. He was a douche at work. He tried to rape Pamela.
He was a douche at work. He deserved to die.
Pamela. I was like, I mean, it was a little bit graphic.
And yet, you know who is mad at Billy? Pamela.
Yeah, well, this is fucked up.
Pamela's mad at Billy. She calls him crazy, but he tells Pamela, punishment is necessary. It is good. And then he kills her with a box cutter.
Yeah, this happened. This happened really fast. It goes from her being mad that he murdered the guy trying to rape her to murdering her, and I'm just like, holy shit.
What did she do wrong? What did she do wrong?
She got mad at being protected from being raped. I don't know.
That's my point. This is where your Billy is not a. This is where I'm okay with Billy.
Pamela is probably the character in the movie who gets murdered by Billy that I'm the most upset about.
That's not the case for me, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Mr. Sims comes back to investigate where everybody is. And he gets a hammer to the skull away.
This is the crazy drunk owner of IRA Toys, right?
Yeah, it's IRA Toys, man. Iris Toys. What are you talking? Is that run by the goddamn Irish Resistance
Republic Army?
Is that it Republic? I don't know. I don't know politics.
Yeah, it's Iris Toys. Yeah, it's the owner of Iris Toys, and he is like a sleaze bag. So I wasn't upset that he got murdered.
He gets why is he a sleaze bag?
He's constantly trying to take advantage of his employees.
How?
He was trying to have sex with his other employee earlier in the movie.
Yeah, but she's an adult. At least she's not one of the teenagers.
Yeah, but he was fed the teenagers alcohol. This guy is an asshole.
He gets like a low grade Scatman.
He is very Scatman in the movie.
In The Shining, of course, Scatman Crothers is like looking for people. Hello, and he gets the axe to the chest. He gets a low grade Scatman. He's looking for everyone. Where's it? But he gets a hammer to the forehead.
Yeah, but he was not, like, I did not feel bad for this character.
Well, he's dead, so you don't feel bad for him anymore.
Well, hold on. Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say, this is where we start getting the picture of the death scenes.
There's a lot of quick cuts and like zooming cuts to get close-ups of these dead bodies, and it's pretty tremendous.
They did a really good job on those. I think that's one of the best parts of their sort of filming.
Yeah, it's good, and we get the first couple because Mr. Sims was kind of macking on a lady a little bit there. Maybe the employee, maybe not, but she now goes like, "Mr. Sims, where are you, Mr. Sims?" She finds him, and we get this like zooming cut of him with the hammer just in his head and him dead.
It's pretty glorious.
It's not bad. She tries to escape and call the cops, but Billy grabs it like a fire axe off the wall that we actually see earlier. We saw it in the movie. You're like, oh, he's going to use that axe. And I'm like, he did. He cuts the cord for the phone with the axe. She runs. Billy's stalking her. And as he's stalking her, he recites "The Night Before Christmas." 'Twas the night before Christmas.
Oh yeah, that was pretty awesome. I love that touch. They take out that sort of like classic poem, and he reads it as he's sneaking through. The bells on his Santa suit are kind of jingling quietly
for sure
as he's moving his way through.
Now as he's trying to catch her, he gets kind of fooled by, I think she had like a hat or something, but it had like mistletoe. So he sees like the mistletoe or the hat and assumes it's her, swings an axe to hit it, but it's just a bunch of boxes with like the mistletoe on top. She kind of gets the drop on him. She dumps a bunch of boxes on him, causes him to drop the axe. She grabs the axe and runs, and she's about to like use the axe to smash through the window, and she kind of winds up a couple of times for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why she pump faked that window. That was a pretty balls move.
She's taking her time.
She could have put herself through that window and out that door before it was too late.
Now, in one of my favorite moments in the movie, Billy just steps out with the fucking bow and arrow. he just archers her right.
He was fucking
shot.
Robin Hood. He went straight through her heart.
Oh my
from
God.
the back. He did not hit a single rib. Like this guy has been doing archery for the rest, like his entire life.
Maybe they stock bows and arrows in the toy store, but I'm sure they aren't unwrapped. This all happens in like 15 seconds. Where does he get it? How does he unwrap it so quickly? And how is he such a good shot? They got archery range at the orphanage?
I was really impressed with his archery skills. That's all I can say. Billy,
man.
as the hero of this movie, like, he's a fucking great
Jesus
archer.
Christ.
He just fucking downs this horrible woman who deserved it because of something.
What did she do?
She was a part of all of this.
She's a consenting adult just trying to enjoy the company of Mr. Sims.
No, she was so supportive of giving alcohol to minors. She was just taking credit for other
right here
things.
is one of the murders that I am most uncomfortable with.
Really? I was fine with her.
More than Pamela.
Yeah. Like,
Pamela's drinking underage. That's strike one.
No, like Pamela, I felt bad for her. I felt like she had made life choices that led her to be here.
What are you talking
about? What middle-aged
about?
woman needs to be there with the owner of that and like
she
try
works
to get
in the toys. Don't begrudge
she
her
had
for
a
trying to
ring
earn a
on her
living.
finger. She was like,
Did she?
yeah,
No, she didn't. Did she?
Yeah,
I didn't
she
see
was
it.
an adulteress.
Get the fuck out of here.
She was trying to set up an adulteress. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
I'm gonna watch this movie again and look for rings. I did not see a ring. That's some horse shit right there. We get some more of those quick cuts and like death shots that are really well done. Now we actually get a great cut here. We cut to like nutcrackers in the toy store with their mouths open.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a choir singing. It's a great fucking
They
cut.
did do a really good job
Well
of
done, editors.
using the mouths and the like choir singing to make a creepy moment.
Great shit.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
get
that too.
an interior of the house. There's a babysitter and like her boyfriend. And they're gonna bang on a pool table. All of a sudden, I don't know if she's a babysitter, like an older sister, but like the little kid starts coming down the stairs. She's wants to be awake when Santa Claus comes. And she tries to kind of like come downstairs to where they're on the pool. They tell her not to come downstairs, tell her to go to bed.
Why didn't they want her to come downstairs?
Because they're going to have sex on the pool table. I just said that.
Oh, yeah, because there was a lot of immediate...
We've got more
like,
nudity. More.
Out kind of action here.
But this is a great line in this movie because she says to her, if your bad Santa won't come, and what does the boyfriend say?
He's not the only one.
That's good shit, man.
Yeah, that was fairly clever. There was going to be no coming for either the two on the pool table if the little kid came down. You're right.
Oh, damn it. So the kid leaves. They get back to it, but then they pause because the babysitter, the older sister, the girl, whoever she is, she hears what sounds like the cat's collar jingling at the door.
Bells at the door.
So she goes to look for the cat. She's looking. The cat's not. Okay, she says to the cat, well, you're on your own then until Christmas morning. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Billy in the Santa suit, punish.
Hold on. Before Billy comes, the cat comes in.
I'm sorry,
She
yes.
saves
The
it,
cat
so the
does
cat comes
run
in. She hears the jingle of the cat. She shuts the door. So Billy
and then
shows
he
up.
busts through that door like the Kool-Aid man.
It was the weakest door ever. It was made from like the most fragile. What?
He breathes on the door and it explodes.
Yeah, which is pretty hilarious. He puts the axe through and he loses grip of it because it breaks so easily.
He just busts through.
Yeah.
Tries to kill her with the axe. She runs. He throws the axe. It misses, but it lodges in the wall. He eventually grabs her, and then
This is graphic, yeah.
God damn, he's looking for something to kill her with. He sees like a deer head on the wall with the antlers. He picks her up, and he jams her through the antlers.
Yeah, he impaled her to death on the antlers on her fucking wall.
What a tremendous horror movie death.
And through her stomach, too, which is gruesome, right? Like, that's one of the most painful ways to go, I would assume.
Okay, so here's my question, though, at this point. As I'm watching this, again, it's a great horror movie death. But I'm like, how did he find this house? Why is he punishing her?
I wrote this down too. I was like, why did he choose this house? What did he know? Like,
why is she naughty? Is it because she opens the door with her tits out? Is that why?
Well, yeah. Was she having sex with someone on a pool table, and is that enough to legitimize you being murdered?
Yeah, but we don't see him like seeing that. If we had like a point of view shot where it's like,
I agree. I think this is the biggest misstep in the conversation of this movie.
This is the death I have the most problem with.
Okay, I agree with you. I think her death is the most problematic.
Like, if it's just that she opened the door with no top,
that's fine. Like,
it's
whatever.
her own house.
Yeah, she can be in her own house.
You can be topless in your own house.
She can have sex with someone on her pool table. Like, that's fine. Like, that shouldn't be a problem.
You know,
why
again,
are you
they're teenagers. It's sorry, I'm not knowing, but like in terms of the time, like the era, maybe they're like fornication. I don't know.
Well, that is the issue that came across in this movie that was weird. It did seem like sex was something that was evil or bad, or it shouldn't be happening.
My problem is just that we don't know that he ever sees them doing it. Like, as far as we know,
what's
she
the
just
motivation
opens the
behind
door
it?
and he's there to kill her. Which,
was
like,
this
for me
just
is
a
a problem.
justification to see more boobs and to kill someone who had boobs out?
I mean,
yes.
Are you going to object to that?
I mean, this is why you watch the movie as a 12-year-old.
12-year-old me watched the movie.
This is why 12-year-old you watch the movie. I agree.
Anyway, she's dead now, but her boyfriend comes upstairs to investigate. And this part fucking kills me.
He deserved it. He's
like,
garbage.
Denise. He walks right past her impaled body. There is no way that he would have walked into that room and not seen her hanging from the deer antlers.
Blood dripped onto him as he walked by.
Can those deer antlers even support her weight? There's no fucking way. When you put up a deer head in your wall, you don't reinforce it for like 120 pounds.
It's really well mounted. It's really well mounted.
Apparently so. But he walks right past her, then sees her. There's some incredible music in this scene also. Billy shows up, punished. They start fighting. He knocks Billy down the stairs with like a fireplace poker. And then instead of calling 911, he calls the operator.
Yeah, so this is weird. One, their fight sucked. Billy was so strong.
I was not good.
This guy with his like fire poker downs Billy in like two brutal swings that anyone could have dodged. And then he tries to call the operator. Was this standard practice in 1984?
And okay, I was actually thinking about this now. And here's the thing. I guess technically dialing 0 is less, like you're dialing less than 911. It's only one number.
Except for you have to wait until you get connected to the police.
Well, that is true. I mean, it didn't
Wouldn't
work.
911 directly get you to the police?
Well, it'll get you to emergency response, but not necessarily the police. They'll have to then direct you to the police. It's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another.
I would have rather anyone showed up if, like, Santa was trying to murder me.
Firefighters?
Sure. They have access.
Either way, it doesn't work out for the guy. Billy ends up punishing him, chokes him with the phone cord, and then throws him out a window. And oh my God, this dude gets a giant piece of glass lodged in his midsection and also one in his face.
Yeah, that might have been one of the best sort of cut death scenes.
God damn.
That piece of glass in his chest and the one in his face are glorious. Like, it was really well done. Whoever did the death scenes in this movie, I'm going to applaud you. Like, they were really, really good.
The editors did a tremendous job.
Really well edited.
And
I really like it. Yeah.
And this is for me the most tense moment of the movie, because the little sister, the kid who's being like babysat, she comes back.
Well, it is amazing that she didn't wake up through any of the murders, but
she wakes up. Yeah. She's awake now. Santa Claus, and I'm just like, oh fuck. And Santa Claus, Billy, asks her if she's been good. And she has, thank God, because if I did not want to watch a fucking 6-year-old get murdered in this movie.
This was super tense. This is like the same moment for me in a lot of the other movies you watch where that child gets involved and they sort of build that. Are they going to kill them or not? And
well, you're a father.
Yeah. Well, and I will tell you that becoming a parent has changed the way I view those scenes for sure.
Yeah.
And
when you were not a father, you were all right with watching children get murdered?
Wasn't all right, but there's a different level of investment in whether that child dies, because I think you're able to empathize more.
This was a tense moment.
And I was like, he's not going to hurt her. I knew that Billy was going to be okay here, and he didn't. He didn't hurt her. He gave her a fucked up gift, yes.
He gives her the box cutter that he killed Pamela with. He gives her a fucking murder weapon. And I'll tell you something else. When they dust that box cutter for Prince, she's going to jail for the murder. No, I'm just kidding.
That was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like how she accepted it was also kind of weird. She was like, "Thanks, Santa, for my box
What are you gonna fucking
cutters.
say? Your older sister is impaled on some deer
she
antlers.
didn't see their
like,
death.
right,
like at least he got out of there before she saw the dead bodies.
Except when he leaves, you hear her being like, Denise,
this
where are
is
you?
a good question, right? Now,
she finds the dead body.
Does she become a murderer? So
I don't
based
think
on this
so.
movie, right? Like based on the things we've seen.
At least she won't become a Santa Claus themed murderer because he was nice to her. He gave her that box cutter.
But maybe he meant that to be her murder weapon as she moves forward
Jesus.
as Murder Santa.
You know what? I
Santress.
think there's actually been. We should look into this because there's been multiple sequels, and if one of them is a girl killing people with a box cutter, we might have something here.
Okay, I want to see this.
The cops are looking for Santa. As they're driving by in their patrol car, they see a guy climbing into a house with a ladder. So they bust in there with their guns drawn. Turns out it's just a dad. But elsewhere, there's another cop car, and Billy has to run and dive into a ditch to avoid that cop car, which you pointed out is actually in keeping with his character.
Yeah, that's the second time he's used a ditch to sort of save him from getting caught or murdered.
It worked for him before. It worked for him again.
Yeah.
Then we have two sledders that are out there enjoying the virgin snow.
Yeah, this was so fucked up. Why did
so upset about this.
Why did we go to two like teenagers sledding in the woods? First of all, what teenagers go out at night and decide it's time to toboggan?
I've gone sledding at night. Toboggan. Listen to you.
Okay. They bring their special sleds out. They're talking shit to each other. And then two other
So hang on.
quasi-teenage-
Stop. Teenagers talking shit to each other is not unusual.
Well, that's fair.
If anything, that is a realistic depiction
Okay.
of teenagers.
So-
one of them mentions the virgin snow. The other one's like,
The only kind you'll ever get.
Okay, so they built that in for the joke. The problem I had with that is that the snow was trampled all over and that people had clearly tobogganed down that same track like 100 times.
so your problem was that it was not actually virgin snow?
Yes, which makes me angry as an
Makes you
ex-snowboarder.
angry? What, really?
Yeah, oh yeah, goddamn. Virgin snow is, that snow can't be tread on. So that's fine. So those two are there, and then who shows up while they're about to go down the hill?
So we get, I think they're on someone else's property. They seem very nervous about being there, which if it was just like a regular trailer or forest, they probably wouldn't care. And then we get two very older teens, and I'm using teens generously. Like, we figured one of the guys looks 30 and one of them looks 40. In fact, when he was talking to the younger kid, we're like, is that his dad? He's like, he's so much older.
Yeah, by when you say teens, you mean 30 and 40 somethings.
Well, they take the sleds anyway, and they go down the hill. The first guy gets down the hill okay, but the second guy, as he's sledding, we hear the naughty. Billy steps out, fucking axes him, and this is just a tremendous moment. The sled comes down the hill, no head on the body.
And then you see the head of the douchey 40-year-old teenager rolling down after him. It was fantastic. I was happy about this.
It's just great
Yeah, I was
stuff.
like, Billy,
Great
good work.
stuff.
The guy deserved it. He was an asshole. Nobody needs him.
You steal someone's sled, you're fucking naughty.
Yeah, what an asshole. Who
Great.
steals
You know what,
someone's
though?
sled
For
on
that
Christmas
kid,
Eve?
at the bottom, the head comes down. Great stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty, like, it was the most unnecessary scene in the entire movie, but it was also, like, kind of hilarious.
I liked it a lot. It was unnecessary, but I'm still a fan. And you know what? Goddamn. You know me and the run times. This movie caps out at 80 minutes, so they needed this scene.
Yeah, this
They
pushed it
needed
to
it.
80 minutes. It would have been a 74-minute
God,
film.
we barely
without
got
this.
past 80. Are
Yeah,
you kidding
yeah,
me?
you're right.
Forget 90. We see Sister Margaret. She's sleeping at like the police station. She wakes up when the detective comes in. She wants to know if there's been any news, and he tells her it is all bad. There's been multiple murders. The cops have nothing. But she's like, you don't understand. I understand this boy. So the detective's like, well, maybe you can predict what's going to happen. And then she realized, we can predict the next one. Oh, my Lord. He's going to go to the orphanage. Mother Superior.
Deserves it.
Wow, man. So we cut to the orphanage. All the kids are opening their presents. One girl's gotten like a lovely doll. She's pretending like the doll's having a phone conversation. Then she has to go because Santa's going to come. She leaves with the doll, but she leaves the phone off the hook so they can't call. They can't contact the orphanage, and they're trying to, but they can't get through. The line is busy.
How unfortunate. Really, that's really, really sad. There's no way that Billy's going to hurt any of those kids. He only wants after that woman who beat him and made him who he is.
I love that at this point you are rooting for the insane axe murderer.
I absolutely am on Billy's team at this point in the movie. I'm just like, Billy, you get her because she deserves it.
I mean,
There's no justification about how I
you
feel.
know what? It's funny. I want to try and defend this,
support
but
me,
I
but
kinda
there is no
can't.
justification.
Well, I
That is
don't
just how I
think
feel.
axe murder is ever the answer.
Well, I agree.
The best,
you're
best
right,
revenge is living well. Billy should become a lawyer or something. He should get a nice house.
A lawyer?
Nice car.
Yeah.
That'll
Both
show
of us
her.
needed to step away from the mic after that comment.
Oh my God. All right, the detective and Sister Margaret, they race to the orphanage, and he sends out on the fucking on the intercom there. Not the intercom. What do you call it? Whatever. The radio. Shoot to kill.
The police radio. Yes.
Which Santa actually shows up at the orphanage, and one cop is there. He sees the Santa, tells him to stop, get back. Guy doesn't listen, keeps walking towards the kids, so he shoots them multiple times in the back, but they find out it's not Billy. Nope, he just killed the wrong Santa. And this part's fucking incredible. When they get on the radio to like the detective and Sister Margaret, he's like, yeah, it wasn't Billy, it's some guy in his 50s. And she's like, oh God, that was the Santa that we got to come visit the kids this year. And the cop was like, well, he didn't stop when I told him to stop. And Sister Margaret's like, well, of course not, he's deaf.
Oh my. Yeah, so of course the police officer who they pulled straight out of Fargo shoots the deaf Santa in the back in front of all the orphanage children. So we're talking about a movie where like poor Billy is scarred from witnessing Santa murdering all these people. All of these children see a police officer murder Santa in front of them. Like 3 shots in the back to deaf Santa.
I just love that they just throw in there these deaf. I want to be clear. I am not laughing at the deaf. But just
You're
like
not?
They just throw that in out of nowhere. Oh yeah, he's deaf.
I mean,
of course.
It explains.
Of course you didn't listen.
It explains why you didn't listen.
God damn it.
Was it too simple an answer?
Man.
Yes, it was. It was too simple an answer.
That's
But
incredible.
so the guy out of Fargo shoots the deaf Santa in the back. He dies, murdered in front of all of these orphans.
No, not all. They're just some of them.
Most of the
Just
orphans.
no, like 3 or 4.
There's more than 4 there. But they go inside afterwards.
Right.
After,
So
yeah,
now they're just
inside.
waiting. The cop is there. He's going to patrol the perimeter. They're waiting. Mother Superior asks one of the children to get her pitch pipe. They're going to sing some carols to kill time. The kid she asks to get the pitch pipe, Billy's little brother.
The baby during the murder.
That's right.
Yeah. And
He's
she makes
still in the orphanage.
She makes a comment about how much better he is than Billy.
Such a good boy. Nothing like his brother. So the cop's checking the perimeter. All of a sudden, he hears his cellar door creaking. Very suspicious. The cop goes to investigate. He walks down to the cellar. It's very creepy. There's nothing there. So he walks back up the stairs, and he gets Scatmanned.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This stupid cop who shoots the deaf Santa in the back gets axed right in the fucking chest. And
A
goes down
full
the stairs.
Scatman. Just a complete Scatman. Billy, of course, naughty. Is this naughty again?
Naughty.
Cop's done.
Yeah.
Now we get just a beautiful shot of Billy's axe. It's dripping blood. And then this part fucking killed me. I love it. He cuts the head off a snowman, which is a beautiful touch. He's walking by a snowman, axes off the head.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good moment for sure.
It's great stuff. He gets to the window. A kid sees Santa, goes to open the door. Mother Superior's like, no. Too late. Kid opens the door. Billy's inside. Mother Superior tries to snap him out of his like murderous mindset by telling him, there is no Santa Claus. There is no Santa Claus. Billy, not having it. He's too far gone. Naughty, he says, raises the axe up to kill Mother Superior, and then he's shot in the back multiple times by the detective with Sister Margaret. He falls dead. Sister Margaret goes to check on him. She's devastated by this turn of events. She remembers him as the innocent young child from earlier. She understands his trauma, but Billy, that's going to be it for him.
Oh, man, I was pissed. I wanted to see Billy take out Mother Superior.
I can tell. God.
I did not like this part of the ending. I saw it coming. The slow-mo piano told me it was about to happen. But I was frustrated that it did. I was like, that Mother Superior abused him and so many of the other children there and created who he was. She deserved to go.
God damn, man. You realize you are literally being like, I wish that nun got murdered.
It sounds bad.
It sounds really bad.
It sounds really bad.
Jesus.
But in watching it, these were the feelings that were going through me. I was definitely on Team Billy. I didn't like some of the choices he made, but I understood where his choices came from.
Now, before Billy dies,
yes,
he fires off one more line. He looks at the children and he says to them,
You're safe now. Santa Claus is gone.
And then, I gotta tell you, this is honestly one of the best endings to a movie I have ever seen in my life. We get the shot of the axe on the ground, and they start to tilt up, and you see a child's feet by the axe.
You know whose feet
they tilt up, It's Billy's little brother.
Yeah.
And he looks fucking pissed. And he is glaring at Mother Superior, just glaring at her. And he says to her, standing over the axe, naughty. And then fucking freeze frame at the end of the movie. They fucking land this ending so beautifully. This is just a fucking incredible ending. I love it so much. We get the credits with some cheerful Christmas music.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
It's cheerful and creepy at the same time.
It is about Santa knowing if you're naughty, but the tone is very cheerful. Do they fucking land this plane for the ending or what?
So, first of all, I feel like the ending justifies my feelings about Mother Superior.
Oh, Billy's brother knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows absolutely what's up in here, and it definitely predicts a sequel. I don't know if there's a sequel or not.
There is.
Okay.
And I will tell you right now, Billy's brother is the killer.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I haven't seen it.
I can't wait.
I'm sure it is.
I can't wait.
My God, they set up so well. Can you, like, I just honestly can't imagine, if you're trying to set up a sequel, I can't imagine a better way to do it.
Yeah.
You got the brother at the orphanage. It's like right away you just know, oh fuck, he's like his brother, he's gone. This is it now.
It's so well done.
Oh my God, it's so well done. So that's it. That's the ending. Again, it was funny because I've seen this when I was younger. Some movies that when we watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space, that was a while ago, but you saw it when you were younger. You were kind of like disappointed when you saw it again as an adult. I did not feel this way in this movie. It lived up to or exceeded everything I felt as like a 12-year-old watching it. Great shit.
This movie was worth watching for sure. Like, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, ratings time for me, unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, you go ahead into ratings.
How bad is this movie? The acting is terrible.
Yes.
They're all bad actors.
It's really bad.
The fact that nobody at any point along the way was like, we should put this guy in a Santa suit. Maybe that'll be a problem for him since his parents got murdered by a Santa Claus. No, that doesn't occur to anyone. Not well done. The music in this movie, amazing, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's super on the nose.
It's really on the nose. So many boobs. Just like there's.
You can't rate it down for boobs.
I'm not going to. Are you kidding? I'm rating it down. This movie is 10 out of 10 bad.
Whoa.
I love it. I love this movie. We'll get to how much I enjoyed it in a minute, but it is 10 out of 10 bad. There are no name actors in this, nor should there be. Like, even a lot of slasher movies, I'll throw like one name actor in there just for like whatever to give it some credibility. This movie's not worried about credibility.
Holy crap.
It's worried about being a fucking entertaining Christmas themed slasher movie / exploration of PTSD. 10 out of 10 bad. What
Holy
say
crap.
you?
Holy shit. Well, 10 out of 10 bad is fantastic. I'm glad we got there. I think I've thrown that out once or twice. But this movie is hard to say it's that bad for me. I think it was super well thought out. I think they really thought about how those events would affect Billy and change the way that they wrote the script.
They give
before
him
that.
a great motivation, but I'm just saying, like, some of the choices he makes along the way make no sense.
Yeah, that's fair. The acting's horrible. There's
Yes, it
weird
is.
musical things.
Yes, there are.
The effects are not good.
No, they are not.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10
All right.
in bad.
Okay, fair
All
enough.
right? I'm giving it a 9.
How enjoyable for you?
I had a lot of fun with this movie.
It's a great
I had
movie.
a lot of fun. This is maybe my closest movie to our Crit 20 ever. I'm giving it a 10.
There we go. We got a 19 from
yeah,
you.
I'm giving this a 10.
Super. So you would recommend this to anyone who likes bad movies?
If you have not seen this movie, you must watch it.
You must
watch it. It is hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I was all in on Billy. I felt for him, and I felt like what was happening to him was sort of unfair, and the things that he did were almost justified. Not quite.
You
Not quite.
made quite a case when you were
Not
like,
quite.
kill that fucking nut.
I mean, that's probably too far. Although Mother Superior, more than any other character in the entire movie, probably deserved it. But
Wow, man.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think it is a must watch if you haven't seen this.
So that's one of your highest ratings.
That might be my highest rating. I don't know if I've
Yeah.
ever given anything a 10.
Yeah, we can look through
I'm
it.
not
I
sure.
don't
We'll have to
remember.
look through the history before.
We should
But
stop drinking while we're doing these. We'd probably remember the other
Yeah, we
ratings.
probably remember the stats. We should have the stats up in front of us next time.
So here's the thing. I agree with you. This movie is so enjoyable that for the first time ever, I am giving this movie a crit 20. It's a Christmas miracle. Woo! The first crit 20, a great fucking movie. There it is. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Great stuff. How about this beer?
Beautiful. Yeah, bah humbug. Very spice forward.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly easy to drink, though. I made my way through this as we were podcasting pretty quickly, not even thinking about how spicy it was. I find that they do a pretty good job of balancing that with the other flavors of the beer. So I think a good job for Bah Humbug. I would drink it again.
I actually would too. It's not my usual speed, but it is only 5% alcohol, so not like super hoppy or alcohol heavy. And yeah, their spice is definitely there. Having said that, still easy to drink, like you said. Yeah, I would do it again. I would it would be a good like Christmas Eve type beer.
Yeah, next Christmas we'll break one out. We'll watch
Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Deadly Night again. Yeah. Number
See how the
2.
Little Brothers do it?
I can't wait to see how the Little Brothers
again.
doing.
They make, I can't remember the name of it now, but they make another. It might be. Oh my god, it might be called Silent Night. That'd be incredible. They make another Christmas themed beer. We should check it out. But yeah, like Oxfordshire, England, our first international venture here, and I thought it was pretty good.
Thank you to Wychwood Brewery.
Good stuff. Yeah, I don't even know.
Well, yeah, thank you to everyone for listening. Please follow us on
Twitter and Instagram at the BMB Podcast. Send us movie recommendations, the BMB Podcast at gmail.com. I'm a little bit drunk.
Fair enough. And we really do appreciate you listening.
Absolutely. Buy the Blu-ray, guys. Buy Blu-ray. Blu-ray's good.
Buy that Blu-ray. Keep it slashy.
Keep it slashy. God damn it. That's good shit. All right, let's get out of here. He knows when you've been naughty.